Okay, now I've gotten smart. You notice I may be having to dip into the cold water, but I have company, and I'm going to splash all over the. Hi, this is Dorothy Wilhelm, and we're swimming upstream on the Swimming Upstream radio show today. And today I have a very, very special show. Now, I always tell you that, and it's always true. But what I wanted to start with a story. Our little girl, was 6 years old when my husband passed away. And they had been so close and they loved each other so much. And I had to sit with her outside Daddy's door and tell her that he wouldn't be coming back again. And she said, well, but Mama, the love goes on, doesn't it? Mama, doesn't the love go on? Well, I'm happy to report to you that no matter what, the love does go on. And so I have my special friends today whom I may have blocked the door and not allowed them to leave at any time. So Tam, this is Tam and Tim, right?
Right.
Or Tim and Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, yes. Okay, and why I felt like that story goes with your story. Give me a little run up to your situation.
I was diagnosed 4 years ago with dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a number of people in our elderly community here who have dementia and have kind of retreated from the community because of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they get embarrassed that they forgot people's names and so on and so forth. I didn't want to be amongst that group. So I've been out and proud of being demented. I'm the demented one. And I always introduce myself as Tim, the demented one.
And they don't fight that description.
Yeah, not so far.
And they go, oh, that explains it. We always knew there was something else.
Something off there.
I think one reason I was especially interested in hearing from you is that, 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, which does a lot of the same things. You can't remember. And here, where I have a plus that you might not have is that I never remembered anything anyway. So it was all, but it's like, this is just part of life. Is that kind of the way you decided to?
Mm-hmm.
And so tell me then Tam, what did you say?
Well, when I'd been noticing a few things a little bit off, and when he got the diagnosis, it was like, oh, right. And it opened the door because I didn't want to mention anything to him ahead of time. I didn't want him to think I was criticizing, but with the diagnosis, now we could talk about it and move forward. And it's just really made our life actually so much more joyful knowing. And that's really how we approach it, is
and I'm
with humor.
I'm forgiven for everything.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
So one of the things, so how it's been almost 2 years, 3 years that you're kind of eased into it. You feel pretty comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Tam wrote a note in our local paper in the community here about dementia and so on. And it seemed to strike a note. And one of our local retirees is a videographer.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked if he could make a movie about it. So basically, it followed us around for a month or two, shooting here and there, and put together a movie, and it really came out very nice.
Well, and could we make that? And I didn't think to ask before, but I wonder if we could make that movie available.
Yeah, if we can have a link posted that
Sure.
people can, that would be wonderful.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm sure. So we'll do that. Don't worry about a thing. But we don't have the details yet, but we will have them. So it should be in the notes that come with the show.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Well, and since Tim's been so open, and like you said, you've been out, it's almost like, like AA, we've had so many people come up and say, well, I haven't told anybody yet, or I haven't said
They're
anything,
afraid.
but I've been diagnosed too, and so, yeah, you've really opened the doors for people to be more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Well, at some level, nobody gets it here without being diagnosed for something. So,
Yeah, there's usually multiple things.
usually.
Rheumatoid arthritis and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
But you've naturally found some, that's really true, that you naturally found some tricks that sort of, we might say, that you use.
Well, yeah. And I was going to say, one of my favorites is, and I forgot to bring the most important part, but I have this, it's called a little jot board. It's just a little thin thing, but I can write on it. And then you just press the button and the words disappear, and then you can write on it again. But this is pretty small and insignificant. I put it on a counter. So what I do is I take our bottle of Irish cream and I set it on the counter right next to it. And Tim sees this every time.
Isn't that wonderful?
And then it's amazing how often you decide, I think I'll have a cup of coffee and some Irish cream.
Well, now, so what goes on this said you were on the bicycle. What usually goes on the board?
Oh, so if I'm going to be going somewhere, I'll tell Tim, but I never really know if it's registering or if he'll remember. He might wander out and wonder where I'm at.
Sure.
And so that's usually what I'll put. It's usually that I'm off someplace, or a reminder. He likes to do his own laundry, which I love. And I can put a note, remember to put your clothes in the dryer or take them out or something.
Such a great idea. I may get a collection of those.
And it's got a magnetic back. I just stick it on the fridge, but I put it on the counter with that Irish cream.
That sounds good. It sounds good to me. I mean, really and truly. So that's terrific. And then I see you brought something else.
Well, another thing is we have quite a collection. We really enjoy watching movies. And so over the years, we've purchased many DVDs. And now because we bought them together, we bought them because he enjoyed the movie, but he doesn't remember. So we've got all these wonderful DVDs, and he'll look at them and he'll think, God, that looks kind of familiar, but he doesn't remember.
I remember the titles. The titles are great, yeah. But a lot of times they don't have a clue what's in them.
And then after we've watched the movie, I'll say, well, did that ring a bell or did it, and he'll say, no, but that was a great movie. Well, yeah.
Well, it's a great movie because I collated it.
Yeah. So he's got all these new movies to watch over again.
Well, and it turns out we store everything in different parts of our brain. It's not like it's all clumped together. It's all in different places. So we're lucky if we can find any. It's just like that whole closet that Fibber McGee used to have. I bet he remembers them.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes there'll be something that will come up and Tim will say, I don't remember that. And I'll just ramble on about some particulars about that day or event or who was there. And every once in a while, something will be just the key that will open that memory.
Yeah, memory's not gone. It's just hidden.
Exactly.
But but sometimes that doesn't work, and that's okay. Yeah. Then I don't make a big deal out of it. I don't say, well, let me go find pictures. Maybe that'll help. It's not that important. Don't worry about it.
How long have you kids been married?
55, almost 56. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So then as you've been getting better and better, what are some, and especially I'm thinking as we're talking, there are people listening or watching that are in the same situation, but they're afraid, or they don't like to tell people, or it's like, we've agreed, what the hell, excuse me.
Well, and for me, just really quick, and I'll let you. But him being so open and honest has made it so much easier for me, because people come up and will ask me if I need any help or support. But but everybody, it seems, are so kind, and we all want to feel like we're helping other
Oh,
people
yeah,
in life.
yeah.
And so our neighbors know that, and they're, people have asked, what, do you want to ride to the store, or do you want, do you need help with anything, or?
My neurologist, the first thing she said when she saw me and diagnosed me was that I don't think you should be driving anymore.
Mm.
I thought, well, that's pretty much a death knell for driving, because if I ever did get an accident after that, they could find out that I was demented. So, so I've been haven't driven since.
No, and
there's plenty of friends and stuff that pick me up for golf and so on and so forth. So.
And see, that's great. And sometimes, like for instance, I have to find rides, and I don't have. I'm from outside, so but you find you have. But the one thing I would love to tell everybody is we have what we need. We can manage. We can do something. We can find a way to do it and make it work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources, like you said, neighbors to give you a ride, or
Right,
you
yeah.
could order things on Amazon, or and we had just purchased a new car, and I so admire that Tim.
Well, when you bought the car, I told you to buy what you wanted.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
I always been the one that picked the cars out.
And so it was her turn.
Yeah.
That's
so that was before I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
I must have known something.
Yeah. Probably did. It did. So we're going along and we're working it out, and that's really a good thing. And look how cute you are.
Yeah. And attitude is, and little quirky things that Tim wandered into the kitchen the other day, and because we've been so open with each other, he doesn't think to himself, well, I better not ask Tim this,
right,
because he'll really think I'm, she'll think I'm crazy. But he walked in, he said, this is odd, but he says, I want to get a snack, but I've forgotten what I like to snack on.
Oh.
And so rather than me saying, really, can't you? I mean, I just said, oh yeah, these are the things you enjoy snacking. He said, oh, okay. And then life just goes on. Yeah.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Peanuts. I would say that was. So it looks like you have a few notes for us.
Well, and that was it. I was just being open, having gratitude for you feel like, okay, you may have lost, you shouldn't drive anymore, but like you said, there's so much more. You've got friends that give you a ride to golf, or and people are very understanding if you have a memory lapse, that nobody thinks anything of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all part of life. It's just.
And then I was thinking too, Tim used to love reading, and in fact, we lived in Port Angeles, and he belonged to a sci-fi book club, and he would buy all these books and read them once, and then he donated them to the library. And I remember going to the Port Angeles library one time. He wanted to check out a book, but they were all his books. He read them already. But
I donated the whole selection.
But with the memory loss, he can't really follow plots long enough to read a book. But then he's now really enjoying Scientific America magazine. You can read magazines or short stories.
Fact-based stuff. I seem to retain much better than I do.
Good.
Yeah, there's not plots and characters that you have to remember.
So probably look around and notice what it is that you
that you still enjoy doing, and trying new things. Like where we live here, they have they had a troupe of dancers come in. It was kind of like Dancing with the Stars. They would pair up a resident with a professional dancer, and we did a little 45-second thing, I think, on stage. And it was we ended up doing that. I was asked if I would like to do it. Yeah, and they asked me, they said, well, do you think Tim would like to? And I said, well, I don't know. You'll have to ask Tim. And Tim had his back to me when they went over and asked, and he was busy doing something, really intent on what he was doing. And all of a sudden I saw him from the back. I saw him stand up and turn around and look at me. And I found out later they had gone over to him and said, hey, Tam just volunteered you to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, then I understand you won Dancing with the Stars, and we hope to have a picture of you.
Right. Yeah, but you got to wear a really flashy velvet jacket.
So what else have we got?
Oh, just that the changes that you see happening are really can be hilarious. You can feel sad. You can say, oh, you know, poor me, isn't this too bad? You know, he's not remembering this, or he can't do that, or, you know, or you can just laugh about it. And that's what we do. We just make a joke out of everything. And yeah, it makes it.
Well, I've always laughed at me.
No, it isn't hard.
Yeah.
When I proposed to her, she was very hesitant about saying yes or no. I said, just say yes. We can always get divorced later.
And then
everybody in my family has three or four times, you know.
Oh, that would give you a lot of confidence.
Well, it kind of took the pressure off.
Well, I had just graduated high school, and I was only 18, and he was the first person I'd ever really dated. I was really shy in school, and I thought this dating thing was kind of fun, and so he wanted to get married, and I thought, well, no, I think I'd like to do some more dating. And when he says, well, we can always get divorced, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Words.
Good grief.
So you really have been together all that time?
Yeah. And interesting thing, I see people who've been together for years and lived together and still can't make a decision whether or not they want to make that commitment. And Tim was in the Navy, and he had leave just on the weekends, and that was in August we met, and then we had a date in September, October, November, and December when you were home on leave. So 4 dates, and then in January we got married.
Yeah. My best friend's parents were very strong in one church, and so had a church all set up. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that was back in the day when just for a couple $100 you'd have a little wedding, and then the reception in the basement with some cake and nuts and mints, rather no ice sculptures and dinners and.
I remember it well, and certainly not going to Hawaii.
No.
No, we had my husband and I think that we had dated 3 times when we became engaged. So. You know, you do what you can where you can. So, but what I kind of like you too, as we get ready to close down a little bit. So what do we need people to remember? What would you like folks to know?
For me, I think to realize that this isn't the end of something. It's just a new way of doing things, a new way of looking at life. I don't know. How about you? Because you're the one that
is living it. Yeah. I had a little bit of medical background. I was a hospital corpsman in the Marines in Vietnam. So I was kind of the doc, out in the boonies there. And when I came back, I ended up training and became a dispensing optician for 42 years. And I always admired doctors. I wanted to become a doctor. I had no resources to do that. So anyway, I always respect what the doctors say. There's a good reason, and a bunch of education behind it. And I always feel that I should honor that in some ways. And that's part of the reason I think that I've been so open about having dementia, because I think it helps other people.
Yeah, I think so too.
But and accepting, we've had some people that have come up and said, well, have you been online and researched this? Have you looked into, I hear there's this new medicine to try. And rather than battling to try to get back to what was his life, he would like to go forward with the best life that he can have now, and enjoy what he has now.
Yeah.
Well, and that's been interestingly, perhaps the same thing that I've done, in that I don't try new medicines. Is that because sometimes there's a yes and no. I mean, so it's like they might work, not work. Well, then you got to remember where you put them. You got to remember all this kind of thing. And maybe you didn't need to do it at all for the time being. And I think it's having a real sense of who you are and where you are.
Oh, and I don't know if we told you, we went on a cruise to Alaska
No.
just 2 weeks ago. And
first
cruise ever. And for Tim, it was really interesting. It was very challenging because it was out of things that were familiar, and so he was constantly forgetting where he put something in the cabin. He thought he brought it, but maybe he didn't. And then kind of worrying, what time do we have to be on the ship? When is it leaving? It was stressful and emotionally exhausting. But I think, did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I never talked to anybody that went on that cruise that didn't like it.
Yeah.
You think you'd do one again?
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like summer the whole time.
Would you be willing to do a cruise again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you try new things. You just never know. Yeah.
Well, you guys, you're going to find this very hard to believe, but the time is almost over. So what would you like to let everybody know, or any last minute hints, or I'm getting out of here?
And go grocery shopping.
Oh,
you go grocery shopping. That's right. I like to do the Safeway pickup one, where you do the order. And because that's easy. That's good. We did that. I got canceled last time.
Oh no! Don't take it personally, huh?
Oh, I did very upset about it.
For me, is to just have an attitude of gratitude. That there's just so much in our life to be grateful for, that we can still do and enjoy. And I don't know, how about you?
Dementia to me seems such a mild mantle you have, that I'm blessed to have that, and nothing more serious.
Well, where you're at now,
Yeah.
and we're just taking it day by day and taking it as it comes, and not asking for answers on what's the timeline, what to expect, nobody knows. No. So just
and
enjoy
nobody knows
today.
about anybody. I mean, it's
Well, my dad did die of Alzheimer's, and so I was kind of bounced around about 4 different doctors checking for everything, and the consensus was that it's not Alzheimer's, it's just dementia.
That's a difference.
See, and it's another attitude. They said, well, if you have to have dementia, the one you have is the better, So it's like, oh, great,
Well, and I do think it's worth researching the better part. I think because in my situation, where I was extremely lucky was that the Parkinson's came on very late in life, because I'm almost 92. Okay, if it comes on late in life, it is not as fast moving. If you're younger, it goes very fast. So see, that was right away. I didn't have anything to do with it, but I'm glad.
Yeah, there you go. And the good news is,
that's exactly. Now we could sing something. I don't know. What would you? So there will be. We're going to find out the link for the movie. And we are going to
get some photos.
Get some photos, and we'll send those. And then you were going to go out or something.
Oh, are we going to lunch?
We certainly could. I don't know if you'd like to. I'd be
Or
glad.
darn, I wish I would have brought your Irish cream.
I
We could have
know.
been, yeah.
That would have been fun. So anyway, you have been enjoying with me visiting with Tim and Tam, and it kind of reminds me of old-fashioned radio. You know, the old
Mhm.
Aunt Jenny's and Dan and all that stuff. But anyway, you'll want to be sure to see the movie and get their whole story. And stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. But aren't they adorable?
Oh.
I think so.
This is Dorothy Wilhelm, and this has been Swimming Upstream Radio Show. And I dare to hope we're going out to lunch. So keep
Sounds
listening.
good.
Okay.